Greetings guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Monette and this is my channel, Evolve with Monette. For those of you that are new here, I am a professional intuitive empath, the lights on, and I am here to share some energy with you guys today. The moral of the story today is you never know who is watching. You never know who is watching. I have a great story for you. It starts with the most important thing, which is a client and a viewer, and then it leads to a more magical thing, which is a bigger YouTuber and a celebrity. Now, I won't be able to disclose fully everything with the celebrity because of NDAs, but what I want you to understand is you never know who's watching. All right, here's what I will say. For the 20 of you that will watch this video, I am so grateful. You know, never rule the day of small beginnings, right? Never rue the day of small beginnings. What that means is that you never ever know where a small beginning will take you or who is observing you as you are growing. And I'm going to tell you in the second half the thing that matters, but what matters to me more is the first thing that I'm going to share. And it starts here with this beautiful green card. Green for heart chakra. Now lately, my angels have been working on healing my heart chakra in the last several years, really. And it began with singing bowls and Archangel Raphael, which is all about healing. And I was healing. I was brokenhearted. I was brokenhearted in the deepest way. And my angels really said, we have something to say about that, but we will have the last say about this, my good sis. And no lies were told. They have been working with me in the best way on healing that broken heart. So I received in the mail a package from a client. You guys do not know, but I have a P.O. box. There's a message about that towards the end of this video. But I have a P.O. box that is specifically for my business, right? So for mailing out packages, when I'm mailing out salt or stuff like that, or for taking in packages. And clients that work with me will ask me, can they send me things sometimes? Sometimes I get books, sometimes I get decks, sometimes I get beautiful gifts, homemade gifts. I've gotten pot stuff, like a, what do you call it? Like edibles. Like someone sent me some beautiful edibles one time. All kinds of things, guys. All kinds of things. So I feel very loved and very grateful. One of my secondary love languages is a gift, so I always feel very loved when that happens. Primary is words of affirmation, and that's where this comes in handy. This beautiful, gorgeous, gorgeous card. So I'm going to let you guys see all the glitter. I love glitter. It makes me so happy. I love glitter. So this card was gifted to me by a client. It's a Hallmark card. I love it. When I opened it up, it was gold. My Leo self loves gold, so I was like, ooh, shiny. It was so good. And I asked the client permission to read this, and they said thumbs up, of course, that I could. So when I tell you, remember I just said my primary love language is words of affirmation, secondary is gifts. Well, she knocked it out of the park because she hit 1 and she hit 2. Okay. And so she says, I will not read you her name or anything else that's more personal, so I'm just going to stick to the part that cracked my soul open and had me in tears. It had me cry off my lashes when I read it. It was so sweet. She says, Monette, excuse me, let me take a sip here. Okay. She says, Monette, while mindlessly scrolling YouTube, I never thought that I would find something so meaningful that I knew I needed deep down. I knew I needed deep down. There really is nobody like you that reaches the soul the way you do. With everything I have been through, you have helped me to be a better partner, mother, and reinforced in me to be the person that the child in me needed. You take the ugliest things in the world, extract the lesson, and bring colors back to life. Wow. Then she says, please enjoy this homemade, what she gave me. recommended some beautiful things with it. I happen to love the recommendation for it. And then she signs love. While mindlessly scrolling YouTube, I never thought I would find something so meaningful that I knew I needed deep down. There really is nobody like you, nobody that reaches the soul the way you do. With everything I have been through, you have helped me to be a better partner, mother, and reinforced in me to be the person that the child in me needed. You take the ugliest things in the world, extract the lessons, and bring colors back to life. There could not be nicer words said. I get letters from you guys all the time. I get emails from you guys all the time. I get texts from you guys that, text me that have the ability to do that. And you guys always lead with such great words. I appreciate every time that someone takes the time to handwrite me a note. It means a lot to me. I try to speak back to you because words of affirmation is my love language. So I'll try to talk back to you if I can, or write you back however I can. I adore pen pals and penmanship and all of that good stuff, and emails and letters and words. It means everything to me. But what you don't realize when you're here and your audience is about 20, and 10 on a good day, 20 on a fantastic day, you don't realize who's watching. And so to receive this letter about someone just scrolling YouTube like we all do, guilty as charged. I'm so guilty. So guilty. So guilty as charged scrolling YouTube. For someone to find the work that I do here. When you are a small content creator, let me scratch my head on that one. When you are a small content creator, it's really easy to get discouraged because you feel like, well, 6 people watch the video, or 10 people watch the video, or 50 people watch the video, and you're grateful for each and every one. So please do not misconstrue at all what I'm saying. But if you put a lot of work into your content, you certainly want some level of payoff for that, and you just never know. And what I try to be is obedient with my angels. So when they say go to work, or we have a message for you to give, or talk to the collective, I just do it. I'm obedient. But I have folded my arms and harumphed like a 5-year-old and been petulant because I thought nobody's watching. And there have been so many times where I have wanted to quit because I am very goal oriented. I hate when I don't see a payoff in something I've invested into. It makes me incredibly discouraged, and sometimes it can make me bitter if I don't understand the greater spiritual reason or lesson for it. And they have not given me a rhyme or a reason for why this has not paid off the way that I want it to. And yet they keep saying that I can't quit. Yet they keep dispatching me to give more messages. And I've not understood it. I'm like, well, if no one's watching and it's not even hitting the algorithm. And recently they realigned me, they dispatched in Fire Earth Fairy, and it wasn't that she did anything. We just had spiritual work to do together, which we did. It was very powerful. And she literally took me to a spiritual ley line in the earth, the root chakra of the earth, Mount Shasta. And she just held space and facilitated Lumarian energy to come in. She didn't do a thing. That's the thing about your spiritual work. If you are obedient to work with the people that are dispatched in for you, the work will be done for you. She didn't do anything other than be a proctor and be a shaman in her own right, guiding me through my own journey of reconnecting and getting inspired again, because I was feeling very uninspired. I have talked to you guys, the 20 of you faithful ones that have been here, about what I have been through over the last few years. And for some of you, I've got to share very personally, maybe with 2 of you or 3 of you, including my bestie, probably know personally what I went through. Okay. Because I don't talk about the medical stuff, because life, right? So I don't do all of that. But you guys have been patient. You've sent me prayers. You've loved on me from a distance. You've seen me record out of hospital rooms, ICU, and rehab. And I'm so grateful that I'm here sitting up and chatting with you. But it was hard to kind of push through in those moments, because I'm like, what am I even doing this for? I don't even know if I'm going to be able to sit up. I was in so much pain some days that I literally couldn't sit up, and I didn't sit up for almost a year and a half. So you guys, a lot of you guys don't understand. It was crazy. So to get a letter like this that says, when I was mindlessly scrolling YouTube, I never thought I'd find something so meaningful that I knew I needed, and that there really is nobody like you. That's so powerful to be an individual. You know, I am my own peculiar self with all of my idiosyncrasies and quirks, and I make no apologies anymore for them. I am grateful to be in the body that I'm in, as it is ever changing and so powerful that it took me from the brink of death to be sitting here. So I am grateful for every pound and every roll and every voluptuous part of me. And I know that it will evolve and transform as it is called to do, but it kept me alive to be sitting here in front of you, to be able to talk to you. So when I say that I have 2 messages here, you never know who's watching. Yes, there's a cool story that's coming next too, but this is the important story. For any content creator, for anybody, don't you make me cry off my lashes, to the person who wrote this card, for any content creator, for anybody who ever feels like what you're doing is not being seen, and that no one cares, and that you're doing it for no reason. That is a lie. I want to thank the Fire Earth Fairy who came in and literally reinvigorated me by just being integral to do what she was dispatched to do. You know, people come in all the time, soulmates come in all the time. It doesn't mean they're staying forever. They may have a quick work to do with you, and if that's the only work we ever do together, it literally shifted me and stopped me from putting this down, because I thought, I just don't see what the point is. I keep going at it, and my ego was in battle with me and saying, you're not successful, you're not making any difference, nobody's watching. Relax. It's like, stop, like, do less and try less, and stop putting so much time and energy into this thing. And my ego was at me, and I was just feeling apathetic. I was feeling depressed. Guys, I'm a human like you, and I go through seasonal depression, and I've dealt with that all my life, off and on. And in those moments, I just wanted to be like, I'm done. I'm done. I did everything that I could do. I gave. Maybe all I had to give was what I had to give. Because when I came here before trauma happened to me, but I stayed through the trauma, and I used it cathartically to speak about what I was going through. And that's where I met a lot of you. See, the angels knew, for such a time as this, the prophecy was fulfilled. I didn't even understand. I thought, I'm going through the worst time in my life. I don't want to be on screen. I don't want to put on makeup. I don't want to do any of it. And for a lot of it, I was being gang stalked. You can literally see when I was being gang stalked, because you'll see the screen was dark. It would be a picture or a thumbnail, but the screen would be dark. And the screen would be dark because I couldn't bring myself to be gang stalked by the people that were gang stalking me, and have them be looking in my face and making fun of me, and all the things that happen when you're gang stalked. It's a horrible, horrible feeling. And if you're spiritual, it's a feeling you can't unknow. You can't unknow it. It's so clear and so obvious that you're being gang stalked. And so that was a thing for me. And so that happened. And I didn't want to be on screen for that reason. I couldn't sit up. I was having surgery after surgery after surgery after surgery. I had over 10 surgeries in the span of about a year and a half. And surgeries, procedures, various things, like under anesthesia, like fully knocked out, like crazy time. Okay, life-saving, emergent, various. They weren't all life-saving and emergent, but there was a couple that were. So I was a mess, and I didn't even know what to do. So to get a letter like this, and to hear someone, I'm not a mother, so I don't know how to make someone a mother. So to hear her say the part about mother and reinforce in her the child in her that needed herself as a teacher, it's the biggest compliment. But to say, to take the ugliest things in the world, extract the lessons, and bring colors back to life. Hold on. It means more to me than I will ever be able to articulate, because I didn't realize that in my journey, that's what I had done. What happened to me was ugly. What happens to a lot of my clients is ugly. And my job with you is to transmute it and to turn it into something where you can extract powerful energy out of it. If it's manure, then we're going to turn it into magical miracle grow. That's what I was dispatched here to do. That's what I know. And it has been incredibly hard to do that when everything in me wanted to flee and go, because ego got in my head and said so, and said it's nobody cares. Like, nobody cares. It's embarrassing, with all the Z's. And thanks to a fire fairy and a couple other people that were dispatched in, I fortunately got pulled back from the brink. But when I receive cards, letters, and emails like this, it's mind-blowing to me, because again, I'm like, the 10 people that watched today, right? Well, one of the most important people out of the 10 sent me this letter, right? And another important person out of the 10 sent me another letter and another email and reached out and became a client, and. And my angels say to me, never rue the day of small beginnings. Now let's ping pong to the opposite end and the full circle lesson. I have various people stop by. We're all parasocial besties out here, cousins and friends in the interweb streets on YouTube. And recently I had one of my favorite YouTubers stop by. And she left a comment, and I appreciated that. Then I had another bigger YouTuber stop by. She's bigger. They're all bigger than me, so period, that part. And so then I had another bigger YouTuber who has like 100 and something thousand stop by. She didn't leave a comment. What she did do, which was a little clerical moment of like collar check from my angels for me, she found my email and she emailed me. Now, finding my email is hard to do because I had somewhat like given up. I stopped doing all of the like tagging and clerical stuff because I was like, what is it for? Who does it matter? Who's watching? Nobody cares. Nobody's looking for me. And it's funny because I have a website and I have all that stuff like linked and stuff. I have a website where you could book me and all of that stuff. But she found my specific email and she reached out to me. She wrote me a beautiful letter and she was like, listen, I stumbled across your channel, very similar to the message in this card. She said, I stumbled across your channel. I'm just gonna hold it up, hopefully get a good enough thumbnail. She was like, I stumbled across your channel, very similar to the message in this card. You helped me get out of something, right? We won't go into that at all. I do not have her permission to talk about specifically her thing, but she was like, you helped me, period. Let's leave it at that. She was like, there's someone that I think would be really in need of your services. And she was like, I'm going to pass their number or your number on to them. And just a heads up, just be expecting a call from a certain area code in the next few days. I didn't ask any questions because listen, people recommend me all the time. You never know like who's gonna like actually follow up with you or not, and I don't feel any way about it if it doesn't happen. So never feel a way if you send someone to me and they don't follow up. No love lost. It is par for the course. But she was like, I'm gonna send this person your way. They're a person that watches my channel, and I wanted to I feel like they might get some help from you. They kind of like reached out to me and we talked about doing something. I don't know, girl. Again, I'm not gonna get too much into it. And the person that reached out to me is a celebrity, and the magic of that is that never rue the day. Never rue the day of small beginnings. I have not told anybody about it. I have not talked about it. I've incubated it because I was asked to specifically. What I mean by that is NDAs are involved and stuff like that. But they needed some help. They needed some insight. They needed some reading work done that I can speak about. I can say that. I'm obviously not going to say any more. But you never know who's watching. Now, what I want to tell you is this. When the smaller YouTuber popped in who was one of my faves, like absolute faves. Like shout outs to her. She's an auntie crone on here. When I crone archetype in the best way, guys, it's not disparaging. Meaning she's an auntie. She's wise. You all know her. I loved her. When she popped in, I felt like this is a great omen. I always love when she pops in. She was always so sweet and lovely. We have a great parasocial exchange. I check out her channel. Sometimes I never know when she's gonna pop by. I was like, oh, that's awesome. But it's like her beautiful energy brought in good luck, and this other YouTuber popped in who and it wasn't any affiliation. I just associated the luck together. I don't know why, I just did. But I was like, oh, it's gonna be a good day. That's so cool. I love when she pops in, right? Because I really appreciate her content. And then when the bigger YouTuber popped in, the 100,000 pluser popped in, I was like, well, what is this? I didn't even know you were here before. But the fact that she took the time to write the email, so the clerical side for me, noted from my Virgo work ethic energy, is like, get better on putting everything in a place that can be easily found, including my P.O. boxes. A lot of people have asked to send me stuff recently, which is really sweet of you guys. I really appreciate it. And I'll do unboxings and all that stuff, and I'll share, but I don't have an Amazon list. Like, people have asked me that. Do I have like Cash App and PayPal? I do have all that stuff, but I don't like link it. But anyway, it's time to receive. It's the year of abundance in 2024 for sure, and adding up to number 8. So I will receive. But this is how I have begun to receive. So here's the full circle story of it. I had no idea that even that person was watching the bigger YouTuber with the 100,000s. Literally had no idea that it would get to a celebrity. It's really a celebrity, so I don't know, I'm air quoting, but it literally get to a celebrity, and that I would end up being of service to said celebrity. Like, that's just mind-blowing to me. It's just mind-blowing to me. Now, here's the thing. What I've learned in my line of business, I've worked with very wealthy people because that's just the line of work I've done. I've worked with lawyers and prime ministers and doctors and heads of JP Morgan and like heads of state and all kinds of stuff. I'm not exaggerating. From people from Jerusalem to South Korea to Alaska to Peru to Colombia, everywhere. Okay? I have been very blessed in this work. And a lot of it is referrals. So that makes me so happy. But the reason that I got the job, right, is because the celebrity, now watch how this works, watch how the angels do it. The celebrity was given my channel. And yes, they said nice things. They liked the aesthetic, like something I was wearing or makeup or something. So, you know, there's a little message about being careful and Venusian energy and all that magic. But what she really liked, she said, was my work ethic. Y'all. Let me explain what that means. She looked and she saw how many subscribers I had. And how many subscribers I have doesn't even exist in the realm of YouTube. You guys all count, but you have to understand what I mean. For someone who was coming from a 100,000 plus channel to my channel that has maybe now 2,000, she looked at the ratio of videos I had. 1,000. Now, what you guys don't realize, to make this story even fuller, I had a Lumarian activation at Mount Shasta where my angels, ancestors, and special Lumarian energy came in and said, we challenge you to start making your visibility better. We challenge you to start putting out more videos. And I thought, my content is long format. Nobody watches long format. YouTube is really trying to do away with it in the algorithm. You know, I just felt like the odds were not in my favor. And my angels and Lumarian energy said, we want you to put out more content. Do shorts. We challenge you to get to a certain number of shorts before the year commences. Now, when this happened, it was the end of November, beginning of December. The number that I was at on my ticker was 856, I believe. I was at 856 when I got back, and when I started to let it marinate and soak. Me and the fire fairy angel had a lot. Fairy angel, you are an angel. Thank you, sweetie. But the fire fairy and I had a lot of communication and conversation about just good feedback. And she was like, I love when you do lives. I love when you do shorts. Here's, whatever. So she just gave me some good feedback just as a good friend about like, what attracted her even to my channel and the work and whatever. But then I had the Lumarian activation, which had, again, nothing to do with her other than her facilitating it. So sometimes, guys, just be obedient to be the space holder for something. You never know what magic is brewing behind the scenes. So then that happens. So then I come back here and I am on fire. And I don't do shorts. Years ago, my sister was like, you should do TikTok. You would so blow up if you did TikTok. You always have on a makeup look. You always are, saying something magical. You should do TikTok. And I was just, I love my privacy so much. So I was like, ugh. TikTok, the whole world, and yes, and my angels are like, you're gonna have to get over that. You're gonna have to get over your insecurities, whatever they may be, because I'm a pretty confident person to a certain degree, right? So, none of the things that, like, I've been attacked about everything, so I don't feel no ways about people saying anything about me, because I am me, and I love me. But, whatever insecurities about my privacy for that. And so my angels were like, listen, if you don't do the TikTok, you've got to do the shorts. I'm telling you, your angels will talk to you just like this. And so I did the shorts. I only told a handful of people that I was held to a certain number, and I incubated. I didn't even say everything. And I worked on special projects, some still yet to be fully loaded. We reloaded fully loaded because they're still in progress. So I was working on stuff behind the scenes. I was working on multiple things behind the scenes about my growth and accelerating my growth. And I was like, all right, Lumarians, you guys said go, so I go. And even during the middle of December, I was hit with a huge bout of seasonal depression. Now, I had felt it come. I can feel it coming in the air tonight. I felt it coming, but my angel said, hold on. And that's why they had lit the fire under my ass at the beginning of the month. So I had all this content that I made that was ready to load and load and load. And I kept uploading. And some of my videos would get 800 views when I'd been used to getting 2 or 5 or 10 on my channel. Because you know how the algorithm goes with the shorts. And you never know. Some of the stuff that went viral, like YouTube would send me an email like, hey girl, hey, you've got a moment of virility here and you have this much of a spike of percentage, and I love numbers, so I paid attention to that. I love numbers regarding like analytics anyway. So I was paying attention and I was like, oh, this is crazy. And I remember sharing with my fire fairy friend, because she's the only one who really knew that I was in this place of like regeneration, and she was partly responsible for the reactivation by being obedient to get me to the root chakra of the earth. And I specifically screenshotted her, and I was like, oh my God, I had a 5,000% more engagement, or up 5,000 views, or something crazy that would not have normally happened for my channel. And in that, y'all follow me. What was that 100,000 YouTuber who connected me to the celebrity? Meaning she saw a short and then came to my channel and watched other content and was like, oh, this girl's working. But when the celebrity saw it, they said they liked my work ethic. What they saw was the number that I hit, which was, so they're doing ratios. They're like, you have 2,000 plus subscribers and you have 1,000 videos. Oh, you working. And she liked that energy. She liked the hustle of that. Thank you, Virgo. Virgo is in Saturn in my chart, and it does nothing but give me a hard time and try to break my heart by keeping me organized and on a routine and on a schedule. But when you have a Saturn placement, the lesson there is always to perfect that, because it will be your greatest benefit. Because Virgo respects work and fastidiousness, organization, and schedules. The blessing, because I also have Jupiter in Virgo, okay? The planet of expansion happens for me when I am organized and I am on a routine and I am clocking in to do my job regarding the collective, which is you. And so my angel said, let us show you how, because there was an expansive Jupiter planetary moment. They said, let us show you how Jupiter is going to work for you, because all it's done is I've had to work on tweaking stuff with my food and energy and all that stuff. That's where Virgo's very persnickety is, about diet and health and exercise and all stuff that has been the bane of my existence. But I am a little bit of a workaholic, and to this day, it's not paid off in any way, meaning I am good at executing, and I am an overachiever to a certain degree, and I like success, and I can measure success, and I get frustrated when I've invested into something and I don't see success, and I can see that it's effery. And usually effery comes when I have human variables, meaning outside of me. So what can I control here? I can control this and me. And so the Lumarian energy challenged me when I was on the mountain and said, and I didn't even tell my fairy fire friend, she had no idea fully what was happening in my reactivation, but they were like, are you listening? We have something for you to say, and we want you to get in such a flow state. Come on, Malcolm Gladwell, of 10,000 hours of being so used to communicating that you accidentally channel what we need for you to say without thinking about it, without an inflection. But we need you to get into practice, my good sis, because you are rusty at this. And I said, rusty at this? I have been working, right? And they said, no, we want more work from you, and we want it faster. And I was like, all right. So I even went through my little depression in the middle of December, human like you, where I was like, I'm not, get somebody else to do it. I don't want to do it. And then they said, all right. And so in the last like 8 days, 5 days of the year, they said to me, all right, we let you be depressed, and you did good work at the beginning. We're proud of you. We see it. But you have to hit that number. 1,000. I was like, what is so special about this number? I was fighting with my ego. I was fighting with myself. I was like getting the 3 people that I had told about my little goal, like, oh, I hope I make it. But really in my mind, I'm like getting them prepared for it in case I don't make it. Don't hold it against me. Okay. Because I was not even sure. That's the thing about our humanity, is sometimes I'm not even sure what's going to happen, because I can be lazy and all the rest too. So I was like, I don't even think I'm going to be able to get these out. I don't even think I'm going to be able to do it, Jesus. In my Cat Williams voice, I don't even think I could do it. Poor little Tink. I didn't think I was going to do it. But the way that they pushed me, and the way that I did do it, and I did it. And I did it. And I didn't understand. They were like, as soon as you do it, we're going to show you something. They said, wait till you see this. Watch this. Wait till you see this. And it was very Yin Yang Twins. Like, you know, y'all know the song for the Yin Yang Twins, but it's vulgar. But it's like, wait till you see this. So they were like, we're going to show you a big stick, sis, of BD power from the universe, essentially. Like, we're going to show you that when you are obedient and you sacrificially do something and you give, how we will flip it. And that's exactly what they did. And the thing that was commented by the celebrity was, I like your work ethic. She saw the 1,000. Yeah. But here's the deal. This is where it really gets to me to communicate to you. Never give up on what you do. She said, I saw the 1,000, but then I went and watched your videos. I watched your long format content, your long format content. So she watched the long videos, and I was like, why am I making this? It's worthless. Nobody cares. Absolutely nobody cares. It's stupid. What does it matter? Right? And I've been convincing myself, like, I gotta go away from this. I'm just gonna do shorts from now on. Nobody's watching this. It's stupid. I've been wasting my breath, and I am loquacious and long-winded. Okay. So but what got me the job, what got me the booking, the gig, the new client, the referral, the whole thing, was that she could see that my work was substantive, that I had substance to what I did, that I put thought and energy, and that I have been working on metaphysical connections, communications, and education for, I feel, all my life. I've been working on a long periodically time, as the meme says, a long periodically time. I have been working at this for years. You know, they say, you know, it takes 10 years to be an overnight success. Well, I have been at this for maybe 20. Okay. Really concentrated the last 10. Absolutely. Definitely put in my 10,000 hours, 1,000%. And so it was such a beautiful confirmation from the most important letters and emails that come in from people's lives that I really get to intercept, to my Lumarian ancestors, angels, to everyone working in union and tandem, and almost like like flogging me and being like, get it done. We need you to hit 1,000. I didn't understand it. But for her, she just liked the way the number looked. And she mentioned it. Yeah, 1,000 and 2,000 subscribers. Like, so for every, subscriber, you've made 2 videos. Like, that's crazy. Like, she was playing with the numbers and chatting with me about it. And I was like, yeah, I never thought about it that way, but okay. Because I didn't know why I was doing it. In fact, I was like, I'm sick of it. I'm done. And after I do this, I'm done. I'm tired. I did it. And then after that, I'm just going to sit down because I'm tired. I'm actually tired. And guys, I actually have like 40 more videos to upload. So you guys are going to get some more content. But what I'm going to tell you is that was the moment. That was the magic. The very thing that I wanted to give up on was the thing that I was judged on. The reason that I got the opportunity is because she liked the teacher, the archetype that I embody is teacher, professorial energy, the hermit, okay? So she liked the fact that I was also a student and a teacher of this metaphysical thing, and she felt like she could learn as she was going through her own ascension issues, right? And she wanted some guidance with that much I can say, and whatever else. But she felt like I had areas of expertise. She specifically said, I watched that video, and I watched this video, and I watched that video, and I watched this video. She watched 4 videos of mine that were long content format. The very thing I said I was going to give up, because I just thought, what does it matter? You never know who's watching. It mattered. And it made her feel like I was a substantial and trustworthy person to connect with. And yes, all the other stuff, NDAs, quiet, we can't talk about it, all that stuff. But the thing about it is that I would have never got that had I not been obedient in the other little things. Had I not been obedient to show up when I couldn't sit up. Had I not been obedient to film when I hated being gang stalked. Had I not been obedient to film when I didn't have pain meds. Had I not been obedient to film when I was in a hospital bed. When they told me that I would have to relearn how to use my legs. When I had to get up and go to the treadmill in rehab. When I couldn't even see straight because the pain was so blinding. When no one was watching. When people that I loved made fun of what I did and told me that it was pointless. That nobody was watching. That I should give up. That I posted too much or I posted too little. That I shared too much. That I overshared. That I was too much in any degree. The angel said, we'll let them all watch and see. So, for anybody that has ever wanted to give up, you never know who's watching and who may fill your cup with affirmations that are so beautiful. You can't even believe you exist and deserve to get this. I am grateful to you who wrote this to me. I am grateful for the other YouTuber who is one of my favorite aunties. I'm grateful for the big YouTuber with 100,000 plus. And I'm grateful for the celebrity client who saw my work as more than enough. There is such a powerful lesson of obedience and sacrificial giving. And also knowing that if you have your ancestral energy, for me, in this case, Lumarian energy, working with you, that's just me. You can have whatever you have. But that was a very powerful realignment for me when I was down bad. When I had spent the year really lavishing love on myself, traveling a lot, doing things that made me very happy. But at the end of the year, I was so disappointed because I don't do anything without an expected outcome or payoff or like a win. And I felt like I lost at the end of last year. And I put a lot of energy into a few areas, only a few in my life. And I thought, God, I didn't get it right. And the angel said, well, there's still time to pivot. And we'll clean that up later. And whether you got that right or wrong will be debated and judged and decided later. But for now, can you focus back on the collective? Can you give to them the energy that you were pouring into these other situations that didn't really value it to the way that you wanted? You know, there were business things that fell through. There were friendship things that fell through. There were soulmate things that fell through. I just felt like I couldn't get a win in my interpersonal life. And they said, can you refocus back on the collective that has never not loved you right, that has never not appreciated your light, that has never not been grateful when they were randomly, mindlessly scrolling YouTube to pop up and see your face in all of your colors and watch you do what you do? Can you pour back into them real quick, and we'll show you how quickly you pivot. Quick message here, guys, at the end of this, before we close. You can lose in your personal life. You can lose in love. You can lose with your family, but you can never lose with the energies above. It's above you, sis. I put a lot of energy into things that I can't say are wrong or right. Some of those things brought me great delight. I had an incredible time. I made magical memories. But again, I am very performance and outcome oriented. I set goals for myself and I meet them. And I was so sad because not only did I not meet goals, but I felt like I made just ill investments at times. And even if there were wonderful payoffs at certain moments of it, I was like, oh no, this doesn't happen when I invest into work in the collective. And my angel said, show you right. It doesn't happen because we are not fickle and we are not ever changing and we're not human. When you're working with human beings, they will disappoint you. You will disappoint them. Disappointments will happen. So they said, can you work with an energy instead? Can you work with this Lumarian energy? Can you honor the work ethic, fastidious Virgo energy in you? Can you make a bunch of videos that seem like it's beyond you? I was like, y'all want me to make over 100 videos in a month? And they said, yeah. And some long format too, which I did. Longer format for sure, which I did. But they said, we don't care. Right now, we're not splitting hairs with you about it has to be, 160-minute videos. We understand that you don't have that type of time. But if you will do the work of meeting the number we asked you to, of hitting 1,000, we will do a work that is divine. And guys, they never lied. As many butterflies that have flown. I did a work that I did not know I was capable of doing. I had a fire fairy cheering me on. She was rooting me on because she knew what was happening, and she also wasn't like pocket watching me. And what I mean by that, not financially, but like sometimes when you tell somebody about a goal, they can be like stalking your life about it. She didn't do that. It was like the perfect little like burst in of like, I am so impressed with the work you're doing, sis. And I'm like, no, you have to understand. And I would make all my allowances, but I didn't do this and I didn't do that yet. And I still have this many more. And she came in with the high fives that I needed at the right time to get me over the hump. Listen, no man is an island. And I hope that is maybe the last takeaway for you. I needed that activation. She and I had work to do. I didn't even understand it. I needed to travel out there. I needed to go to that mountain. I needed to do the whole thing. Everything that happened got me to this moment, and also that new client, and also eyes on me that I will never be able to see or understand or comprehend fully. And had I not been obedient to hit that 1,000, even though it made no sense to me, I was like, what am I even supposed to, okay, here we go. And there was all these snafus with recording. Like I had made like 50 videos one day, but I had recorded it the wrong way. And in order to do a short, it has to be vertical and not horizontal. Y'all, when I tell you, if it could go wrong during retrograde, it did. It did. But my angel said, we are going to honor the investment. In a year where you had a lot of setbacks and disappointments, and a business deal that fell through, and a soulmate thing that fell through, and a friendship thing that was almost falling through, girl, I salvaged that. Thank you, Jesus. But I had all of these different things that fell through. I had one soulmate thing that worked out, like that worked out. I'm not talking about the fire fairy, but different soulmate thing that, like, it didn't disintegrate, but I have expected outcomes because I know what magic I can make if I have cooperation. But my angels allowed me to have a failure of a year. And you're like, what are you talking about? Mom? You went everywhere. You had a great time. I did. That was not a failure. That was amazing. But they allowed me to have a failure of a year in so many other areas that I could never really share on here with you guys, because they wanted me to understand to stop putting my faith in other humans. It's never going to work. And it made me realize that my worth is not just about what I do in my work, but with that Saturn placement in Virgo and Jupiter organization, even getting organized in my own home, all that stuff matters. And it's the only success I've ever known. I may never crack all of the codes of soulmate partnerships or businesships or friendships, right? I may have successes from time to time, and I welcome those, and they are divine when they happen. But the angels and ancestors said you can count on us, and you can count on you to do the work you have to do. And they said a message that is literally unfolding and coming true. All of the connection and all of the soulmate energies and all of the other things that you're wanting will not just be limerances and passing fancies as long as you are working, because your work attracts the world to you. By being the expert, a powerful lesson that another fairy helped me to learn in this past year, by being the expert and standing in not fear, but in a clear headspace of knowing that my job is to just be here and teach, then the invite will be handed to me. That's part of my human design as a projector. And that's exactly what happened. Never rue the day of small beginnings. The most important thank you comes from a handwritten note. The celebrity is literally a half of a cherry on the cake. No offense if you're watching, but I will never underestimate every subscriber that's been here that's actually helped me to be great since the beginning. Thank you. You never know who's watching you. Put your best into everything you do. Try your hardest. And when you give up, pray for a beautiful fire fairy to be dispatched in who's like, no, you will not, my friend. A bestie to be dispatched in, no, you will not, my friend. Other fairies and people that came in and said, no, you will not, my friend. It wasn't just one. But a real work was begun on that mountain, and it shifted me. And I heard what I needed to hear to get here. When I had felt atrophy in my soul, like, I just can't do this anymore. Who am I doing it for? They said, you're doing it for them, for you who's watching, for you who comes through, for you who has cared, for you who has seen me in the hospital all the way back there, for you who has seen me with all of the different color hair, not just for people that are finding me now, but for the people that have been here. I cannot say thank you enough. So carry yourself well. That's my message to you. I'll pass a little of my Leo Sun energy onto you. Put excellence into everything you do. Because even when you feel discouraged, like you want to give up, I think of Noah building that ark, right? Whether you believe it happened or not, the metaphor and the allegory is still there to be examined. If you need an ark, let the universe be the one to say, I know a guy, and let you be the Noah, the guy that they know, the girl that they know, the sis or the bro that will till the ground with the hoe and get the work done and make out of the manure something beautiful with colors. Grow. I love you guys so much. Come back and join me next time, and we'll continue to keep working and to evolve together.